And without further ado, let us start today's draw proceeding. Sangeeta, could you please draw us the first team from pot 4?
Islamic Republic of Iran.
Islamic Republic of Iran started participating in the AFC Women's Asian Cup from 2010. After a few attempts, they qualified to the finals in 2022, played in the group stage, and this is the second consecutive time for Islamic Republic of Iran in the final stage. They will be in Group A, and to find out their position, Yu-Kyung, please help us to draw a ball from pot A.
A3.
A3 for Islamic Republic of Iran. And we continue with pot 4. Sangeeta, please.
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh, the one and only debutant among the 12 participating teams in this AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026. We have seen some amazing movement by the Bangladesh women's youth team in several AFC women's youth competitions, and now it's time to look forward to their performance in the senior team competition. Bangladesh for Group B, therefore we will find out their position from the draw from pot B.
B3.
B3 for Bangladesh. Now, last team from pot 4, please.
India.
Perfect. India. India had their moment in the tournament history, the runner-up team in 1980 and 1983, and recently India hosted the tournament in 2022, and this time is actually the first time they qualified through the qualifiers, and it is really a hard-fought one. 2 amazing goals secured the win for India in the last deciding group match, and the goal scorer, Sangeeta Basra, is right here with us today. India for Group C, and we'll find out their position from a draw from pot C.
C3.
C3 for India. Coincidentally, we have position 3 for all these teams. And now we have completed teams in pot 4, and let's have a look at our teams from pot 3 to move on. Okay, very good teams in pot 3. And Sangeeta, let us continue. Could you please draw a ball from pot 3?
Philippines.
Philippines, an active team in the 1980s. Philippines actually also hosted this tournament, Women's Asian Cup, in 1999. After being away from the AFC Women's Asian Cup for a few editions, Philippines participated in 2018 and qualified to the final stage. Finally, they reached the 6th place of that tournament, and 4 years later, 2022, Philippines brought their best performance one step forward as the semi-finalists, and they secured one spot in the FIFA Women's World Cup for the very first time. The Philippines for Group A, therefore we move back to Pot A to find out their position. Yogeong, please help us to draw a ball.
A4.
A4 for Philippines. Now we continue with Pot 3, please.
Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan. First-time participation in 1995, and for 5 editions until 2003, they were played in the group stage. Ever since we introduced the qualifying campaign for the AFC Women's Asian Cup in 2006, this is actually the first time Uzbekistan qualified through a qualification. And it was not an easy one. Uzbekistan won through penalty kicks after a perfect tie with Nepal in the group standing. Not to forget, Uzbekistan will be our next host for the very same AFC Women's Asian Cup in 2029. And let's find out Uzbekistan's position in Group B. We move on to Pot B for a draw. Please, Yogeon.
B4.
B4 for Uzbekistan. And now, let's review the last team from Pot 3.
Chinese Taipei.
Chinese Taipei had some ups and downs in the history of the tournament. Definitely a pioneer and powerhouse in the early years. The first team to win the trophy for 3 times in a row in 1977, 1980, and 1981. Chinese Taipei came back to the tournament, qualified to the final stage in the last edition in 2022, and they finished as one of the quarterfinalists. Now they will resume their journey in the AFC Women's Asian Cup next year. Now we will now find out the position for Chinese Taipei in Group C. Therefore, Pot C, please.
C4.
C4 for Chinese Taipei. I promise it's a draw. Well, we're halfway through, and let's keep going with Pot 2, and we will have a look at the teams that we have. Amazing movement by these teams, and now we will do pot 2. Tamita, are you ready? Let's go for the first team, please.
Korea Republic.
Korea Republic debuted in 1991, and ever since they have never missed a competition or even a final stage. They've been in all the final stage. Third place team in 2003, runner-up in 2022. With the future stars with us, I'm sure the team is aiming to change the color of their medals to gold this time. Now, for Korea Republic, let's come back to pot A. We have one position remaining in the pot. Yu-kyung, please.
A2.
Korea Republic in Group A, position 2. Now we move on with pot 2. Tamika, please.
China PR.
China PR, with great achievement in the AFC Women's Asian Cup, holding a record of 9 times champion winning, the latest one being the last edition, 2022. China PR is also the host of this tournament in 1997 and 2010. China PR goes to Group B, and we will review their position.
B2.
Defending champion, People's Republic of China, B2. And the last team from pot 2, please.
Vietnam.
Vietnam. This will be the 10th campaign for Vietnam in the AFC Women's Asian Cup. Vietnam hosted 2008 edition as well as 2014, where they finished as the 6th place team. And the last edition, 2022, Vietnam went through the quarterfinals as well as the Asian playoff to secure their first ticket to the FIFA Women's World Cup. Vietnam goes to Group C, and from pot C, we will confirm Vietnam's position. Yu-kyung, please.
C2.
Of course, C2 for Vietnam. Now we have completed pot 2, and the draw is getting much more excited. We are coming to our top-seeded teams, and before we proceed with the draw, let's have a look at the teams in pot 1. Now we have the teams ready, and as we see, our position pots are emptied, and we have position 1 reserved for these teams in pot 1. Our host country is already identified, and A1 is reserved for them. Tamika, could you please do us the honor to draw the yellow color ball?
Australia.
Australia, our proud host. Australia first participation in 2006. As well, they hosted that same tournament, and 4 years later from that, 2010, Australia clinched their first champions title, and Tamika was playing in that tournament as well. With Australia being drawn as A1, we can also proudly announce our opening match between Australia and Philippines on the 1st of March in Perth Stadium. Now we have 2 teams left for Group B and C. Let's find out who's going to Group B, please.
DPR Korea.
DPR Korea. The last appearance in the AFC Women's Asian Cup finals was in 2010, where they finished as runner-up. Despite they have missed several editions, we can never forget the competitiveness of DPR Korea women's team. 3 times champion holder in 2001, 2003, as well as 2008. DPR Korea goes to B1. And we have our last team of the day. Tamika, please.
Japan.
Japan will be positioned in Group C1. Japan is currently the highest ranked Asian team in FIFA ranking as number 7. Japan also has a very long participating history in this tournament. The upcoming one will be the 18th edition for Japan's participation. And ever since 1986, Japan has always finished among the top 4 teams in the tournament. And eventually in 2014, Japan won their first title. And in 2018, a back-to-back champion. I'm sure they are eagerly waiting for another history as well, like other teams. So that concludes today's draw, and here we are. Our 12 teams have their pathway determined for what is set to be an unforgettable competition. Thank you, our lovely draw assistants, for joining me on the stage. And Tara, the floor is back to you.
Well, there we go. The path is clear. Thank you so much to Jessie Dye for your hard work there and our incredible draw assistants, the stars of next year's AFC Women's Asian Cup. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Well, let's get some reaction right now, because before we wrap, let's hear from a couple of head coaches. First up, head coach of Australia Women's National Team, Joe Montemuro. Joe. Hi, Joe. How are you going?
Sarah.
Great to see you.
Great to see you.
What's the overriding feeling right now, Joe, knowing your path in March next year, and also knowing, looking at that group, Korea Republic, they did break Australia's hearts in the quarterfinals in the 2022 AFC Women's Asian Cup. Not to remind you or anything, Joe.
No reminders, no pressure. Well, first of all, congratulations to all teams for making it this far, and obviously there's some amazing games, and it's set up for an amazing tournament. And also the organisers, great work tonight. It's set up a fantastic tournament. Yeah, there's some interesting games, and I know what you're going to say. The pressure's on, all that sort of stuff. And thanks to Tommy for winning it a few years ago. Look, it's going to be a fabulous tournament. There's some amazing matchups.
No pressure at all, Joe, but having that home ground advantage, does it ramp up the pressure, or does it ease the pressure a little bit, being in the familiar surrounds of Australia?
Oh no! Look, I think our fans will come out and support us and make it a special occasion for every game. And the pressure's the privilege. It's great to be at this level, and we're really looking forward to it.
Thanks so much, Joe. We cannot wait to see you in action, and the build-up, of course, to March here next year.
Thanks, Tara.
Now let's hear from Katrina Kulbici, the head coach of Uzbekistan, who had one of the most thrilling qualifying campaigns to get here. Katrina, so great to see you. Welcome to Sydney. I mean, watching what Uzbekistan did on the qualifying run, against the odds, overcoming it all, looking at your group, look, it's tough. but it feels as though you've got this team right where they need to be.
So, good evening, everyone. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. Uzbekistan didn't take part for 2 decades in this elite stage of Asia football, women's football. So it's a big honor and responsibility to be here, to be honest. We will take each game at a time with belief and courage. Of course, in this level, there is no easy opponents. But we dream to be here, and as it was said in this commercial video for Women's Asian Cup in Australia 2026, we dream fearless for the next one.
Well, we cannot wait to see you in action here at the AFC Women's Asian Cup back here in Australia in 2026. Thank you so much, Katrina. Now that brings us to the conclusion of the AFC Asian Cup draw, but before we say farewell, let's have a look at the draw results. I can see a lot of people in the room are on their phones and social media is going crazy because we know as soon as this draw comes out what we can expect. So taking a look in Group A is the hosts, Australia, Korea Republic, the Islamic Republic of Iran. You've got the Philippines. Group B is DPR Korea, China PR, Bangladesh and Uzbekistan. Group C, Japan, Vietnam, India, and Chinese Taipei. And with that, the AFC